Directly going to
of course.
16.
Of course, it is going to work line by line only, but let it be. And what other things will happen? What will other gets hoisted then?
Test 1, test 2,
Yeah, test 1 will be hoisted partially or completely?
fully.
Fully hoisted. And then test 2 will also be hoisted
Fully.
Okay, so there are three variables in the global execution context. They are test 1, test 2, and root. Okay, and root is hoisted partially because we declared that by using var keyword, and remaining two are declared with function keyword, so they will be hoisted fully. Okay, now execution gets started. So this is actually we call as creation phase only. This phase we call as creation phase. That means variables are just hoisting takes place in creation phase. Remember this statement also. And execution phase is the one where the instructions getting executed line by line. So from line number 1 to line number 10, what is this? A function definition, right? So we will skip this. And then from line number 11 to line number 15, what is this? It is also a function definition. We will skip this. And at line number 16, what is this? Root is assigned with a value called peptides. Okay, now what will happen? Undefined will be removed, and what will be assigned for it?
Peptides.
Peptides will be assigned like this, right? And after execution of 16th line, what will happen? I'm making a call
Test
to which
2.
function?
Test 2.
I'm making a call to test 2. So what will happen?
Test 2 context will be created.
Yes, there will be an execution context created, which is test 2. Right? And is there anything to get hoisted within this?
As where a language.
Language needs to be hoisted.
Undefined.
In which phase? In the creation phase of test 2. And now after creation phase, what will happen? In the creation phase, hoisting will be done. And after creation phase, what will happen? Execution phase starts. So where instructions will start executing one by one. So now orange is created.
Sir?
Right? Yeah.
Why in line number 14, there is a call of test 1, no, sir?
Yeah, I did not come to that point right yet.
I'm asking a doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Now we have created a test 2 context, no, sir? In that, firstly, we are checking that which are defined with var keyword. But test 1 is created with function keyword, no, sir? Then
but
test
it is
1
not
also
created
have
inside
to...
it, right? No. See, this is a function call and it is not a definition. So when you make a definition of variables, like declaration, we call. So when you make a declaration with var keyword, that will be hoisted partially. When we make a declaration with function keyword, that will be hoisted fully. And am I making any declaration over here? It is a call, and it is not a declaration. So how can the test one gets hoisted? No, it cannot get hoisted, right? Because that is call, and that is not the we are trying to access that variable, but it is not a it is not a declaration. So now what will happen? Orange is got assigned with orange, and when we read this, when the CPU reads this line number 13, what will happen? Language variable which was previously assigned to undefined will now assign to what?
JavaScript.
Yes. Okay, now what will happen after execution of this line?
Test 1 will
now
be
here
called.
It is what? Remember, it is function call.
Yeah.
So when we make a function call, what should happen immediately?
A functional context will be created.
So whichever the function we call, that context will be created on the top of the current execution context. So now just about this, what happened? Test one execution context created when we are at line number 14. When the line number 14 got executed, what after executing line number 14, what happened? Test one execution context got created and we paused over here. Yes. Now the control goes to inside the test one, right? So inside test one, is anything need to be hoisted?
Yes, sir.
What are they?
The first C, sir.
C,
C variable.
C with
first
be
C.
undefined.
Partially hosted.
Yes.
And after
And
that,
then test 12.
Test 1, 2.
Now don't get
Undefined.
confused. Test12 is of course a function, but still we are not declaring that function by using function keyword. So it will be hoisted with partially only because we are declared that by using
is var keyword.
var keyword. Okay. Now after hoisting in the creation, what will happen? Now we jump into execution phase.
Yes, sir.
So after executing first instruction, what will happen?
B is
B will be
value 20.
Yes. And then
Will be overwritten with undefined with 300.
yes. Let me write that.
After that, sir,
Wait a second.
function test12, and that
So C is assigned with 30 now. And after that,
that
function will be assigned with this value.
9 come to 9, sir. Line number 9.
No. Wait a second. Here it is an assignment, right? I'm assigning some value, which is a function value for this variable.
Okay.
Okay. So what will happen? You was the one who told this answer yesterday. And you are again forgetting this. Now what happens?
test 1 is assigned with
Test12 is
function.
assigned with function. So previously it was undefined because that was declared by using var keyword. Now after assigning this value, what will happen? The content goes to here. And here what I'm trying to do, I'm making a call for test12.
Function call.
And is there a variable within this context which is named as test12?
Yes, sir.
Of course,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
And it is a function, right? It is a function. So what will happen? This is function call. So what should happen now?
If
What will happen?
a test1 to execution context will be created above the
Yes, on the top.
test1.
On the top. Yes, on the top. This is test12 execution context got created. Now, what is there anything to be hoisted within this?
No,
Nothing. So what will happen?
no.
After execute in the creation phase,
Then-
in creation phase, there is nothing hoisting, and n will be created with a value of 230. And at line number 6, x will be created with a value of 45.
Right.
And at line 7, what happens? N plus x will be logged. That means 230 plus
275.
will be logged at which line?
Line numbers are 7.
7th line.
Right? And after that, we will go to this closing bracket. That means we will get erased of this particular context. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes.
So let me make this back. I'll keep these names. Okay. I want these names for future use. Okay. Now execution context of test12 got erased. So now where this test12 actually got called from this test1 execution context. At which line? At line number 9, right? At line number 9, we called it, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
at line number 9, after executing line number 9, that means now the line number 9 also got executed, right? That means the function call has been done. So what will happen? The control goes to line number 10. That means test1 execution context will also get
Complete.
Erased.
Erased. Right.
erased. Right? Now what will happen next?
That the control
Where this test1 is actually called from? It is called from
14.
test2 function.
14.
So now after executing this, what will happen? The control goes to line number 15. So what will happen? Test2 will also be erased, right?
S2 will be. Yes.
Yes, right. Now what will happen after this? Yeah, actually, I made a very small
17th line,
mistake.
it will go to
Wait a second. Let me get back. Yeah, here I wanted to discuss about this one. See how this test1 is called. Test1 is actually called from this line, right?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes. And in this call of test1, is there a variable test1 within this test? No.
No,
Then
sir.
what should happen?
No.
What should happen?
Lexical environment.
Lexical
It goes
environment.
with Lex.
Yes. And where is test2 variable in the RAM? Test2 is there in the global. That means
Global
the parent of test2 is this
execution.
one only. The parent of the test2 is this one only.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in this one, is there any other variable which is test1?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's how we got that context. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Pakka?
Yes,
Pakka? No doubt, right? So
Yes,
these
sir.
two got
No.
completed now. Okay. These two got completed. And then what happened? Where we called from this From line number 17, after line number 17, there is nothing. So this will also get erased.
Erase.
Okay. Now what I'll try to do is, let me save this and show you this output. Only 275 which got printed at line number 7. So that's what I have written here. Right? You understand, right, everything?
Yes, sir.
Without any
Yes,
doubt?
sir.
Yeah. Now what I'll do is I'll erase all my drawings. No, I don't erase. I'll erase only some parts like this. I don't want this. Now I'll be making little interesting. Okay. You understood this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now I'll make little interesting. Let me write some more point over here. I'll try to log along with this. I'll try to log the variable called root. Okay. I'm trying to log another variable called root. Okay. And now what I'll do is I'll start analyzing this again. So what will happen first? What will happen first?
Global execution phase.
Yes, you know all this, right? Test 1, test 2 hoisted fully, and root is hoisted partially.
Partially.
So since this entire thing is functional definition, directly the control goes to line number 16. So when we read this line number 16, what will happen? The root will be assigned
Bytes will
with,
be assigned.
yes,
Root.
right? And after that, we are making a call from this test 2. So test 2 execution context got created. And inside test 2, how many variables are there? There is nothing to hoist. So language will be hoisted. Is there nothing to hoist?
No,
In
sir.
test 2,
Language will
language
be
needs to be hoisted. And then orange will be created with the value of orange.
orange.
Okay. And then after reading this line, what will happen? This undefined will be erased. And what will be assigned?
Assigned with JavaScript.
Yeah, JS I am writing directly. I don't want to waste my time. Now test 1 is there, and test 1, as test 1 variable is not present inside the current context, we will have to check it in its lexical environment. That means where this test 2 is present. Test 2 is actually present in the global execution context. So we have to check whether there is a variable called test 1 in the global execution context or not. Yes, that is there. So test 1 context will also get created. Okay. Now we'll get back to test 1, and C has to be hoisted undefined. And I'm not going to hoist this. C hoisted, let us say it is undefined. Okay. And what should be hoisted? Test 1, 2 needs to be hoisted with undefined because they both are created with where keyword, right? And then what will happen in the execution phase? B will be created with a value of 20, and C will be overwritten instead of undefined. It will be overwritten with this 300. And test 1, 2 will also be overwritten with a function because this here I'm trying to assign this entire function value for the variable test 1, 2.
Yes,
And then I'm making a call for this test 1, 2. And is there a variable test 1, 2 within this context?
yes,
Yes,
sir.
there is. So, and it is a function. So what will happen?
That
We will we'll create another, it will be creating another context for the test 1, 2. And inside test 1, 2, what are there?
sir, there is no hosting, sir. Actually, that will be directly.
There is nothing to be hoisted. Everything is been declared
Line.
with let keyword. So directly we enter into the execution context. So n will be assigned with a value of 230, and then x will be assigned with a value of 45. And then when I'm trying to log this n plus x, 275 will be printed on the first phase. And root, when we are trying to print this root, so this is the point where we will stop. Okay. So when I told you what is closures, and based on that concept only you can answer this. Okay. Now, is there a root variable within the current execution context, which is
No.
test 1, 2?
No, sir.
No. So
No,
now
sir.
let us try to fill this gap. What will be printed over here? Whether we'll get an error or whether we will, get some value, or whether it will be printed as undefined or something. Okay, I'm making an empty box here. So same thing, if you understand the closure concept. So if there is no variable named as root within the current execution context, from where we will have to check? In its parent execution context.
Yeah.
Who is the parent of test 1, 2?
Test 1.
Global
See,
execution.
don't see here. See here. Where test 1, 2 variable is present? In which context the test 1, 2 is present?
Test 1, sir.
So here
Test
the
1
test 1,
execution.
2 is present. And is there a variable which is named as root within this?
No, sir.
No. So then what we have to do recursively, we have to do the same process. Now we have to check for its lexical environment.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, which is the what is the current execution? What is the execution context currently we are in? We are in test one. And now, what is the lexical environment of test one? We did
Test
not find
two.
within this context, so we have to look for its lexical environment. And who is the parent of test one? Don't look at this and look at this. Who is the parent of test one?
Test two.
Why? Why test two? Is there a variable test one within this test two context? And what is the
Global
yes,
execution.
yes. And this is the point where closure concepts you understood. So just you need to look for the variable test one where in which context it is present in. I know that you will make a mistake that you will tell that it is present in test two, but not. It is present in global execution context. You see, test one is actually present in global execution context, right? So
Yes.
now we will check within this lexical environment, and is there a variable root?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what will be printed here?
Prep bytes.
And can you tell me what if there is no variable root here? Then we will check the lexical environment of GEC, global execution context. And who is the lexical environment of global execution context? Null.
Null.
Actually, this is going to be the root execution context, because from this only all things comes. So if we don't find the variable in the global execution context also, then we will get what kind of error?
Not
Root is not defined. Okay, root is not defined. Just make a screenshot of this, and it is the most beautiful concept in JavaScript. Let me save this, and you see we got prep bytes. Now I'll make a very small change here. I'll make another variable called root, and I'll make it to something like get post. Okay. Now can you guess what will happen? So before creation of this execution context, when it is created actually in line number 10, right?
Sir, actually, prep bytes will be, sir, there after saving, sir, final result.
No. Wait a second. So you got the previous one, right?
Actually,
You
I'm
got the previous one.
when,
Like
sir,
how we are able to print this prep bytes, you got that or not? If you did not, then I can repeat again.
no, sir, I get, sir, how prep bytes printed there, sir.
Okay, you got that, right, everyone?
Yes, sir, I got that.
Okay, then. So what I'm trying to do here is that just see, everyone just respond for this, because if you don't understand, then I cannot go forward. Did you got how we are able to print prep bytes over here? We are keep on checking in its lexical environment until we find this root variable. Got it?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay, then. So what I did here is that I created another variable which is root. Okay, the same with the same name, which is root. I created in the test one. Okay, so that means in the test one, before let me erase all this. And the same process continues till here, right?
Yes, sir.
So till here the same process. Firstly, we'll be making a call for this global, and from global we are making a call for test two. Test two got created, and inside test two, what is there? Two variables will be created, and I'm not going to write a hoisting here. So orange will be assigned with orange. Okay, and then language will be assigned with JS. Okay, and then we are making a call for test one. So what will happen?
Sir,
See, I made a mistake.
Sir, it will be undefined.
Wait a second. Actually, I was already written this test two context. So this is how test two context, and in the test two context, what I did at the end, I made a call for test one here,
Test one. Yes.
right? So that's how we got the test one context. So in the test one context, what are all the variables? I'm not going to write any hoisting. B is 20 and C is 300.
at root,
Then root,
get post.
okay, and then
There is another
test one to
test one to
test one to is a function.
yes.
Okay, and then after reading all this, we will be jumping into line number 10. So in line number 10, we are making actually a call to test one to. So in test one to, what is there? N is equal to 230.
Yes.
Okay, and x is equal to 45, and we are making a log of n plus x. So n plus x means 275 will be printed, and root. So root we are blank because there is nothing variable called as root within this context.
Yes.
So what we will have to do, we will have to check it in its lexical environment.
Yes, sir.
So where is test212 actually?
Test
Here it is, right? So in test1, is there a variable named as root?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We
sir.
got that, and that get post will be printed. We don't need to check further. Okay, we don't need to check further. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. And let me save this, and you see the output. And now you see we are getting get post instead of turbines.
Okay, sir.
So that's what closures, and that's what even includes the scope chain and
If that variable in its lexical closest lexical environment, then we will not check further.
Yeah, once we find the variable in its very closest lexical environment, then we will capture that value, whether it is undefined or something like that. We will capture that value. Okay, otherwise we cannot get that. Now I'll make a small changes, and you will have to tell me what will be the answer. I'll be erasing this. Wait a second. Everyone try to analyze yourself. Everyone try to analyze yourself and tell me what are the answers will be printed. I will give you 5 minutes, 6 minutes of time. By 12:50, I will ask you one by one. You have to tell the answer, and till 12:50, don't talk anything. I want to drink some water. Okay. So just try to solve this and be ready with your answers, everyone. Okay. Okay or not?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Not a single answer, Shiva.
Okay, okay, sir.
Meeting will end in 1 minute, sir.
Okay. Okay then. Okay, Shiva Sumant also got the answer. Kiran, you made a very small mistake. Just try to resolve that yourself and let me know what is the output after in the new meeting. And Naveen, you try to create another meeting.
Okay, sir.
And share that link. Okay.